Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Right Reality Podcast. My name is Steven, and this is definitely the first time we're recording this intro.
My name is Mixie. We are here to recap episode 6 of Temptation Island. The island is always watching.
Man, it's got eyes in the back of its head. It's got cameras where cameras maybe shouldn't be. There's things being shown that we're like, do we blur that? Everybody is watching Temptation Island right now.
Yeah, I would hope so, because there was straight up porn at one point, which we will get to. But they're showing porn now, so whatever.
Hey, we'll take it when we can get it. Yeah. I'm not going to complain about it. Good looking people banging. All right, let's get to it. That's what we wanted last year. We wanted more banging. They've delivered more banging in 6 episodes of this season than they did all of last year.
The incredible, the ability of how much better this season is than last season. Like, I can't believe we watched last season compared to this. Like, this seems like a completely different show. They fully revamped it. I feel like this light edition was genius. The mental fuckery that this is causing is 10 out of 10.
It's perfect. It does exactly what they wanted it to do, and it's causing people to just spiral, and then they're like, well, the light's on. I might as well bang, too. Fuck it, whatever. I didn't see them bang, but the light's on, so maybe they're banging, so am I going to not bang now? I mean, what am I supposed to sit here and not bang?
The jumping to conclusions is insane in this episode. Amazing.
So we got a few things coming up, but we'll welcome back, Mix. You were off last week, and I think maybe the hotties already know. If you're a Hot Take Hotties Facebook member. And if you were watching very carefully on YouTube, you might have already given it away. But, I mean,
I will.
You were out last week for a specific reason, unbeknownst to you.
I was, I was not prepared for it at all. We were ready to record on Sunday, and then everything exploded. Shout out to Steven, by the way. I told him, I was like, just don't post an episode. And he's like, no, the hotties, they need me. The people, the number one needs to post. I got it. He put it on his back. So shout out to Steven for doing that.
Thank you.
I got engaged over the weekend. So, it was amazing. It was fantastic. I am still floating. I just couldn't be happier. Life is amazing. My fiance, oh my God, that's the first time I'm saying it. My fiance proposed to me last Saturday, and Steve and I were supposed to record Sunday. And I texted him on Sunday morning. I was like, hey, I can't make the recording. Sorry. And then sent a picture, and he was like, oh, fuck that. We don't need to record. You got it. You do whatever the hell you want. Live in the moment. So I appreciate that. But got engaged on Saturday. Was supposed to be Friday. I ended up having to work late, and my angel of a fiance, Chase, he was able to pivot and did it Saturday. And it was perfect. Had no idea. Completely surprised me. Which, if you guys know me, I pride myself on being able to know what's going on, which is probably why I have a podcast.
Loves a spoiler, everybody.
I do love a spoiler, and he completely shocked me. I was not prepared for it at all. So it was amazing. It was perfect. I am so happy, but I am also so happy to be back and recap this episode of Temptation Island. It was so good.
So good. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
From me, very happy for you. Crazy that it was supposed to happen Friday. So we were talking about Friday, like, I should already be there. But you thought you were going for something else. You thought you were going for
I thought I was going for different... like a work awards thing. He was like, I have to do this thing on Friday. Like, I really would like you to be there. And then work just went super long, and I had to stay late. And God love the guy. He drove an hour and a half to set it up Friday morning, and then had to drive again to tear it down, and then came back and picked me up like nothing had happened, and redid it again on Saturday. God love it.
Amazing. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yes.
To the fiance.
Shout out Chase.
Shout out Chase, yes. Shout out Big Chase for the big surprise there. Congratulations, you guys.
Thank you.
All right, coming up on this week's episode, we ask and answer the big question that's on America's mind right now. Plus, we play how much does the men's villa cost to rent per night?
Oh.
So start thinking about that. I may or may not have spent an hour Google mapping all around the island of Kona, and I started in one place and literally went all the way around and came back like 3 miles south, and of course it was right there.
Yep.
But I found the place because I love to find them. So we'll play that game a little bit later. But we start, Mixie,
yes,
with recapping where we left off last week.
Some
banging. We had some bonfiring.
Yes.
And we ended the last week, and we started this week with Doorway saying he and Oates are not right for each other.
Yeah. This was sad to hear, although he does seem pretty matter of fact about it, so I'm going to assume that it is truly how he feels, and he's not just kind of like doing a gut wrench, like this is my thought at this current moment, I'm just going to say something. I feel so bad for Oates. I feel so incredibly bad for Oates. I really like Doorway, don't get me wrong, but I also really like Oates, and I wanted them to get together, but honestly, at this point, I don't think that it's good for either one of them to still be in this relationship, and it's sad. I mean, to say that out loud on a television show as well, like, ugh.
That was the tough part to me.
Mm-hmm.
Him just saying it and realizing, like, she's going to see it. I mean, I said in last week's episode, I'm like, can they get that turned around quickly enough to show Oates, like, right now?
Yeah.
And they definitely didn't.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was that he had known, I guess maybe before, and correct me if I'm wrong, he wasn't the one who wanted to come to the island, right?
Correct.
He was like, I don't know why we're here.
That's the funniest part to me, is like all of this is imploding. She just keeps saying that she misses him. She doesn't want to be with these guys. She said it maybe 3 times in this episode that she just wants to go home.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he is beaming, like just so happy over there, skipping around, laughing about stuff, like just having the time of his life. And I'm just like, woof. She drug him here and he's the one leaving her. It's bad.
Listen, as a gentleman, let me just speak for all the gentlemen who might be listening. It's not a crazy thought to say if you're hanging out with someone like Michaela that you're going to be beaming. Just a general thought. Even if you're technically engaged to someone else, you'd be like, man, life is crazy, right? This is great stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, man, what a great life I live.
Uh-huh.
But yes, just absolutely wild how he didn't want to come here, but like that's given him the understanding that it's not right for him. And then they like send all the guys out and the ladies come in and I was like, are they going to show it? Are they going to show Oates? Are they going to show Oates? And then they start with Oates and I was like, oh God, they've turned it around so quickly. Let's do it. And then they don't show it to Oates, but Oates is like crying because of what she saw. And I was like, Oates! Oates!
It was heartbreaking. Can we talk about how the girls all got the Barbie memo and came out in their pink? I was like, look at these. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Hi, Barbie. Like, all of them came out in their pink. It was like, it was coordinated. They do seem to be a tight little crew, the 4 of them. I don't know how real it is, but they were getting out of that car and they were like, we're going to be fine. We got this. Everything's good. And then I don't even think that the video started for Oates and she started crying. And I was just like, whew. I don't think anyone's coming out of this alive, Stephen. I really don't. This is an absolute dumpster fire, which I love, by the way.
Let me tell you why I believe this season is different. And it's just the addition of the temptation light.
Uh-huh.
That little addition of the temptation light is leading to the most amount of banging on this show. Because it's just like that in your back of your head, like, well, maybe it is my person. I don't want to wait another 2 days to see at Bonfire if it was my person when I could bang tonight. I mean, I'm so used to banging. Why wouldn't I not do it with somebody else? And it's just like, it just sets it up so perfectly for everybody else.
Yeah, I agree. And also the fact that they aren't clarifying what turns the light on.
Yes.
So like that part, I think also is just kind of like, I think the guys have decided that it means they're fucking. The guys seem to have just jumped to that conclusion. I feel like it's just anything that's past like that you would consider cheating, like making out, touching above and below the waist, any of that stuff. Like I think all of that would be considered temptation in my mind. But the guys are like, they're fucking. I mean, there was so many times during that bonfire they were like, they're fucking. I know that they're fucking. Yeah. How dare they? They're fucking. And I'm like, they're not fucking, dude. Look at just look for 2 seconds. And then they made decisions based off the fact that they knew that they were they're not fucking.
I'm going to go back to what I said the last time you were on, where we saw Paris and King Fuckboy in the bed, and they zoomed so far into that shot, and we see at the end of this week that like the shots are very wide and very like 4K, maybe 6K quality cameras. Mm-hmm. And they zoomed in so far, which again makes me think they were definitely banging.
Really?
And they, for some reason, cropped in to not show it right away, to maybe be like, well, we need Great to look like the asshole here first. We can't have her saying she was going to suck his D in day one, have her bang. I think we need Great to look like the asshole here, potentially.
This is a hot take, Steven, because I feel like they would want to show any and all banging, if possible, and they punched in to make it seem so that they can make it seem like they was banging when there definitely wasn't banging.
Okay.
But Croissant has said multiple times, she's like, I feel like I've done worse things than Great. So maybe...
That's what tricked me. That's what, like, turned me. I shouldn't have said trick. Turned me to be like...
Shit.
Yeah, maybe there was something that they, again, story producing. We got to produce this story here a little bit. Speaking of Croissant, she was up next to watch her clip.
Uh-huh.
And I loved how Mr. Marky Mark knew what was coming, because he said, hey, we're going to watch the clip. You're not alone in this.
Yeah.
We're all here for you.
Fine.
It's going to be fine. We have an ambulance on standby. It'll be great. Don't pass out. You got your girls here. I'm here. Uh-huh. I was rolling with laughter.
Yeah.
At the beginning of this.
Uh-huh.
And her facial reactions, Mixie.
I feel like she knew it deep down. Like, she was dreading it. She sat down. She's like, I'm nervous. She knew.
She had to know.
She knew. Uh-huh. When it ended and she's sitting there and crying, and our savior, Mr. Marky Mark, gets up and goes over and sits with her, which I can only imagine that was like a 30 to an hour minute long conversation. A 30-minute to an hour long conversation. Because she was sobbing, and then they cut to Mark, and then they cut back to her, and she is completely fine. And I'm like, they took makeup break. They did a whole speech. Like, there is no way that happened that quickly. But during that time, I'm sitting there like, go home, get Tajik, stand in the middle of that fucking living room and suck his dick. Suck his dick in the middle of the living room. Do it. Croissant. I'm Team Croissant hard. She's an icon, and I would have loved it, and I really wanted her to do it. Just go home and suck dick.
Just go home and just be like, hey, and you just literally point at the camera. Fucking zoom in, bitches.
You seeing this shit?
Zoom in. What angle do you need me at to see his peep in my mouth? Where I gotta be? Turn this way. And she literally just repositions him. Right here?
Like, okay, yeah.
Is this it?
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll be anywhere. I don't fucking care. I'm King Fuckboy. What are you talking about? Last week you didn't want to talk to me, and then 20 minutes later you're like, oh, everything's fine now.
Yeah, all over the place. Love it. She's like crazy in a fun way, whereas Gone Girl is just crazy in a I'm scared for my pulse to continue to be way.
And I think we all have those two friends in our life, right? Mm-hmm. There's the one friend like Croissant who you love to tell stories about because you're like, I love her. But she's crazy. And all the other friends are like, yeah, she's fucking nuts. Like, if we didn't know her, we'd be the ones calling her out and be like, this fucking crazy. But since she's your friend, you're like, did you see what she did last night at the club? Oh, my God. And you're laughing about it. But then you also have the friend like Gone Girl, and you're like, why do we keep inviting her to things? Like, what are we doing? This is on us at this point.
Yeah.
And everybody knows it, but nobody wants to pull the trigger and take her out of the group text or start another one.
That's
because
spot on.
Because if she finds out, you're all dead.
Yeah, You guys got to do it in secret. You got to like block her from your stories for 24 hours because you want to post, but you don't want her to know. Yeah. Been there.
I was about to say, it sounds like somebody who's been there.
Been there, still kind of there in a little sense of the term. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Christ. Let's move on to Maricela.
Yeah, another one, beaming. You could see it in her eyes. Mark said something too, like, this is the most free I've seen you. You could tell she does not care anymore. She is like, what the fuck ever. I got a hot guy with a nice body that I rubbed his head and Chris thinks I fucked because I gave him a head massage. That whole thing also was insane.
Well, they were making out in the bed, but he leaned in and was like, are they fucking? Now, mind you, it looks like he's usually wearing glasses, right? Like when he's at home.
I think he's a contact wearer, yeah.
And we've talked about this before. Like that monitor is so far away. And it's like, are they banging or are they just making out? Mm-hmm. I don't know. But my favorite part of all this is she was like, from day one, he's been telling me I don't do this right and I don't do that right. And I'm like, from day one? He was telling you all this? And you're like, whatever. Why are so many of you guys in relationships like this? Leave.
Just break up.
Like from day one, he told you weren't right, but you stayed? What are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't. She's gorgeous. And then you guys were like codependent. You literally said like we would see each other all the time. If somebody was constantly telling me that I wasn't doing shit right, or I was like, oh, my credit's not great, and I don't wake up, I'd be like, okay, go to your fucking place.
That shit's so funny.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, no, it's crazy.
I don't get it.
Yeah, and to be like connected to the hip to somebody that's constantly like nitpicking every single thing you're doing. No wonder she was so like scared and timid and shy, and now all of a sudden she's just broken out, and I love it. I'm rooting for all these people to just fuck other people and be done with it. Just break up. Just break up.
Well, remember at the end of this episode, we have to put in our bets.
Yes, we do.
Of who's staying together and who's not.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, the Vegas odds on these relationships right now could not be worse for bettors.
They're not good.
They're like the money that you could get for like a parlay of all of them staying together would change your life if you bet on all of them at this point. Let's move to Gone Girl. And this brings us to a very special segment that I like to call Reenactment Theater.
Oh, goodness.
Hello, welcome to Reenactment Theater. It's the time of the show. Well, me and Mixie will now reenact our reactions to watching Vanessa watch and listen to Rob Roberto say all those things. Now, listen, is this great for podcasting? Probably not. Is it great for our friends on YouTube? 100%.
Yeah, check out
and
YouTube.
I'll start because I just dropped this on you.
Yeah.
But this will be our reactions. I'm going to basically reenact me watching Gone Girl watch all that stuff.
Go ahead.
Because I was so fucking giddy. All right, here we go. I have to center myself. I have to remember. Okay, it was about 2 hours ago I watched it. Okay, here we go. Oh, yes. Show her. Show her that stuff, Mark. Yes. Say it, Rob. Yes. Oh, she's pissed. Look at her. Oh, she's not moving. Yes. You deal with it, Gone Girl. Oh, deal with it. Yeah. And seeing it.
I think that we nailed it together.
Yes.
Yeah, I was also giddy. I think my favorite part of all of it was when she went back to the house and went into that ITM. That was the best part. And she's bitching about how Rob said that he's lowered his standards for her and that that's like so rude and she can't believe that those things would come out of his mouth when she did the exact thing. And that's why he's saying it to begin with, is because he saw her say it. Now she's all, I'm the victim in this. Bitch, I want like a scientific study on this, like how your brain is able to convince yourself that you somehow are the victim in this whole situation when all he did was regurgitate the words that you were saying. By the way, she was saying to someone else and he just said it directly to the camera.
Bingo, bango, bongo. This is you open up a textbook in America now, and you go when it's like, oh, what does pot calling the kettle black mean? And it literally just plays those two clips back to back. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe it. I was like, how can you just do? I have no words. It was incredible.
It was.
I was like, oh, she said this 2 weeks ago on this television program.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
What's going on?
I mean, I can only hope that she's rewatching this and like having some sort of self-reflection moments. I will say, I did feel like when she was on her date, there was a little tiny glimmer of her like realizing that she's kind of a controlling freak. And also at one point she said in an ITM, she's like, I don't have any control over this. And I was like, yes, you don't. You never did and you never will. There is other people involved and you can't control everything. I feel like she's taking the tiniest little baby steps to understanding that. But man, that was incredible to watch. Just so good.
But I don't think she can, because I think in the moments at the bonfire, we've seen everybody, well, for the most part, like kind of understand, because Mr. Marky Mark will push them like, well, you've done some stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, well, I guess. Yeah, okay. But he like pushed her back slightly, and like it was like, no, I asked you this very specific question. It's like politics. When a politician is asked a very specific question and they know they don't want to answer it, and they just pivot to something else and just try to keep talking, like we'll forget that we heard the question.
Yes. I feel like that was another hour-long conversation that editing couldn't get any actual answer out of, because that edit was weird. He did ask a question. I don't remember what it was because she didn't answer it. And then all of a sudden they were getting up to leave.
Well, and they showed him and he didn't say anything. And I was like, that's weird, because he probably asked the same thing a couple times. She deflected, pivot. Politician move after politician move.
Yep.
And they're just like, listen, we're just none of this is a clean edit. We're just going to trash this whole thing. Everybody already hates her. It doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
let's just move on.
Go home.
And they're like, then we're going to obviously play the clip of her like saying the same thing that she just said. Now she's mad. That insane. We've done enough with her that it's not going to help.
Yeah.
It's not going to help. Yeah. One of my other favorite things was after she said that, she was like, well, as if people don't like me enough. Let me just keep adding on to this. And she said to Bryce, who, God love him, probably is just there now to make sure she doesn't jump off the cliff.
They got to be paying him extra to sit there and pretend like he gives a fuck.
Hazard pay. Hazard pay.
Yeah.
She tells him, she was like, I said, entertain yourself, have fun, explore your options, learn more about yourself, be all flirty in that, but don't disrespect me like that. Excuse me? I feel like all of those things would be disrespecting. Again, she had just done what she did like week 3 versus week 6, and then she just was like, nah, it's too long. I want to make sure people know that I'm crazy, and let me just say this all together in one sentence right now in this moment.
Yeah,
Entertain, have fun, explore your options, learn more about yourself, be flirty and all that, but don't disrespect me. Him dry humping is that's the low level of disrespect.
Yeah.
He bangs. Oh my God.
She said something about following the rules, and he was like, oh, well, if you had written it on his arm, he wouldn't have followed the rules, which I also wish that the guys at the house were seeing these clips as well. I really feel like that they would be responding differently to some of these situations if they had. But I just thought it was interesting that she was laughing. She was like, yeah, he wouldn't have. I'm like, girl, the first clip that they ever showed you was him being like, I don't want to be with this girl anymore. Why are you sleeping by the light? Why are you concerned? He doesn't give a fuck about you. You're done. You're out of his life at this point, which he kind of like pretended like he doesn't care. In my opinion, he doesn't care. And production's like, hey, everybody's breaking up way too early. Can you pretend like you care a little bit?
That's exactly what it was. I think they may have taken that from like night 1 when he was drunk. It was like, maybe I still care about her. Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
But don't just. You're right. Like her whole thing of like sitting by the light. and then being like, "Oh, I don't care. I'm done. I'm over it. It doesn't bother me."
Mm-hmm.
No one's buying it. No one's buying it. Okay.
Yeah.
We know you care because you spiraled last week when they introduced it.
It's yeah. I would have jumped to the men's villa because that whole thing. So they start with hallway, and he is like, "Yeah, you know, she was dancing. I'm fine, but everybody else is sad."
Yeah. He's like, I just basically stated out loud for the first time ever that the woman I've been with for 8 years and proposed to, I could do without her.
Yeah,
but everybody else is
that great.
Yeah, not that bad. Everybody else are certain deep. You know, they've been in their relationship for 2 years max. And they're the ones that are hurting. But me, peachy keen over here, because look at what's next to me. That's why I'm good. Yeah.
Well, then Great starts crying because they said that, like, oh, well, Great watched Croissant, fuck. And then Great starts crying. Trace 2.0 is sitting right there. And she has a little baby smirk on her face. Just the littlest baby smirk on her face, which I agree with, because did Great not just fuck her the night before in bed?
Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. So Great starts breaking down. For some reason, Doorway is sobbing. I don't know if that's... And then he's like, oh, this is so hard. I'm like, bro, 2 seconds ago, you just were like peaches and cream. What is happening? And so Great's breaking down. Everybody goes over to Great to start consoling him. And then Trace 2.0 puts her hand on his shoulder. She was the last one to console that man. Yeah.
I think she was like, hold on, we banged last night. He saw her banging. Why is he this upset? Like, I banged him.
Yeah,
He should be like, whatever. Oh, fuck, maybe he's really got feelings for her. This is going to be harder than I thought. I'm Trace 2.0.
Yeah, I think she likes to pretend like things aren't like that. He doesn't have Paris around, and then just... Yeah. But then there was later in the episode, the light turned off, and then she was like, oh, Paris is fucking again. I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
She's being Trace. She's just being the worst. Like, this is what she does. This is in her DNA, right? Like, this is how she gets down. She wants to pretend that she's above it all, right?
Yeah.
She, like, in her interview, she's always sitting so proper, right? And just, like, trying to be like, oh, I'm better than this. I'm above it. Like, it is what it is. I'm a bad bitch. High-class elegance. But, like, really, like, I mean, we saw if there's a threat, she's going to... When the other girl left and said something, explosion.
Yep.
Toothbrush, explosion. Great, couldn't pick between Tammy and her, explosion. I'm shutting down, I'm not talking. None of that convinces me that you're cool or aloof or like you don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Take notes, Gone Girl.
Yeah. Truly. You know? Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. But yeah, all the men shooketh.
I want to talk about this in more detail. The girls did maybe a fourth of the bad things that the guys have done. Yet the guys are the ones that are being so incredibly dramatic and like upset and emotional and like crying. And Hall's like, this is the most difficult thing. Like, Caitlin hugged a guy.
She did. Yeah. He's like, I haven't been hugged like that in years. And I was like, well, that's probably something you could have figured out before coming here.
Yeah, but, Doorway, you got to figure that out prior to coming to Temptation Island. But I just think it's funny, like, they're the worst, and it's just so upside down that they're the ones that are like, especially Christopher. Christopher is like pissed. He's so angry.
Later in the episode, I wrote down, let me find it real quick, because I really wanted to make sure I had my words right for this. Yes. I wrote, respectable whore is looking like he needs to go to a smash room at this point and just destroy old computers and printers, Office Space style.
Mm-hmm.
The look on his face when he said, I'm dramatic as fuck.
I'm dramatic as
when he like turned his head and pivoted, looks like someone that's calm on the surface, just that blank face, and then 2 days later you realize they've been arrested and have at least done $20,000 worth of property damage at the least.
Yeah.
At the least. They may have killed or harmed someone, but they've at least done property damage. It's that just blank face of just like everything, is going to be what it is. And their eyes just like stare at you and you're like, you good? Oh, I'm great.
Yeah.
I've always been great. I'm going to be great after this. And you're like, I don't think you're great.
I think seem great.
You might kill someone. You don't seem great at all. You seem like not great.
And he's like, I'm great, and slams the table.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, oh, there comes some property damage.
Yeah.
Here comes some property damage.
I'm trying to like telepathically tell that girl that's sitting next to him, get the fuck away from this crazy dude.
At the end, he had like the little interview because Great came over and said something.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, bro, I don't need you over here right now.
Yeah.
And then in his interview, he goes, she wanted to be in the streets. Go be in the streets. I was like, he gave her to the streets. He gave her to the streets.
He said, return policy to the streets. What is it?
Yes. Return to sender. He stamped that motherfucker and was like, go back to the streets. And for those of you who don't know what that means, just go to Urban Dictionary. Look it up. There you go.
He scared me a little. That whole thing was just scary. Also great, like the light came on because Maricela was back with that dude, which was awesome. Loved it.
Unexpected moment of the episode.
The light turns back on and Great's like throwing his head back and just, freaking out. And Respectable Whore's like, I'm putting a blanket over this light. They're all freaking out. But again, they're acting like they didn't turn the light on like 50 times on the other side at the party the night before. Like, it's who can be the biggest victim. This is a trend through multiple of these seasons. This is last season too. It's like a competition to see who could be hurt more by the other person.
I think it's a lot of like, hey, we had kind of a plan going in that we weren't going to do this. We kind of agreed. We're in a relationship. We agreed to these sets of rules.
Yeah.
Whether you like that they set up rules or not is a different story. And then, like, we've been here 6 days. And, like, what's going on? I don't think what did Chris do? Did Chris, like, make out? Or was he just snuggling? I don't think he turned it on. I think last episode was Great and Rob Roberto and Maricela. Those were the three that went on.
Yes.
And he's just hammocking it up. And then he's got to watch. I mean, God knows what's going to happen next week.
Well, because, yeah. He did. He like snuggled up with her at one point, I think, on the hammock. And then he was that was the clip that she saw. He was at the table being like, my dick is hard as a fucking rock. That shit can cut diamonds.
She told me her credit score was like 790, and I was just like, can I pull it out right now? Just go to town.
He's like, my dick is throbbing. Tell me what time you wake up in the morning. Oh, 6:30 a.m. Oh, fuck.
Tell me you have an Amex Platinum. Just fucking tell me you have that travel credit. You have Clear, right? Tell me you have Clear. Tell me you have Clear.
Clear.
You got that airline. You got that mileage. You got that club access? Yeah. Yeah, you do. Being a fucking adult and shit with travel points. Let's go. What's that? You only fly business class? Fucking right. Got them cheeks, girl.
I love it.
Oh, but I couldn't believe Maricela was just like, oh, we came back from Bonfire. I saw him like in a hammock. Let's go to the bed. Let me just take my top off, straddling you. And I was like, oh my God.
And that guy was just like, okay, yes, yeah! I will support. I will support them while you take your shirt off. Okay, yep.
I realized I've only been talking to you for like a day and a half because you only thought that I was hot when I was dancing. And apparently that does it for you. And I had like a white jacket on and you're like, oh my God, he's hot. So like, that's all that takes it for you. She was just like, you know what? I put up with a man who told me my credit was too low for a year and told me I woke up too late for a whole year, but fuck this. Pop my top off. It's coming off. I'm moving on.
Every day he makes fun of me for what time I wake up. So fuck him. I'm getting topless on top of this man in my bed.
Who cares if it's 11 a.m. on a Thursday and I'm still in bed? Who cares?
I we move on from commercial break to the dates.
Okay. Mixie, before we answer the big question that is on America's mind.
Okay.
Which is, did Great and Trace 2.0 bang in that car?
Mm-hmm.
We have to go with how much did that men's villa cost?
Okay. We'll play the game.
We'll play the game real quick. So I found the location of the place. I do have the amount that it cost. Would you like to guess how much?
Okay. Am I allowed to ask a couple questions? And it's an Airbnb?
No, it has its own website. It was removed from Vrbo.
Okay. I would like to preface I am terrible at this stuff.
Okay.
Horrible. How many bedrooms is it? How many people does it sleep?
Oh, good question that I probably don't have the information for, but I will try to figure this out as we go.
I'm just going to guesstimate. Okay, it's for one night, or is it like a week that I'm
You can guess the one night, or you can guess the weekly. I have both prices in front of me, so you can
I'll
guess
guess
either.
the one night. I'm going to guess the one night is $3,500.
$4,000.
I was close.
You were very close. That's really good. For the month, you get it for $105,000, which is what I assume they probably rented it for a month to get 2 weeks of filming, 2 weeks of like getting all the bedding and stuff in there. So not too bad.
Is the furniture the same, or did they fully refurnish that?
Oh, you know how I knew this was it? Because I'm going around on the map and I had seen a video of the place that they like put out online, like a TJ touring the home. So I'm like going around. I'm like, okay, it's in an inlet and it's really covered by trees. And I saw it and I clicked on the thing, and the first photos that popped up, I go, I think this is the inside with all the wood paneling. The next photo was the kitchen. I was like, that's the fry oven.
That oven has fries in it.
I wonder if they're still in there.
Damn, I'm impressed with myself. Comment below or tell us if you got it close. I'm impressed.
Did you get it? Yeah. Very good. Very good. Very good.
$500
Well, that should have been the YouTube contest. We should have had you try to guess what the price is. We fucked
Well,
up. That's
I
all
still
right.
want people to comment who, if any, couples they think will make it.
Oh, yes.
So think about that, or comment now while you're thinking about it, so that we can make sure you guys are on the same page as us, or not, and we can fight.
Yeah, let's fight.
I want to get into these dates. Boring. I'm going to go through them quickly. Croissant and the blonde guy, why did they go on a date?
To fill the time. Listen, there was no dates on last week's episode.
Yeah, as it should be. The dates are boring.
Yeah, at this point, we know who's on. We know who's banging with each other, so the date should end at this point.
The only date that was worth watching was great, and like recreating that fucking Titanic scene.
I thought it was like little Joe Millie at the beginning.
It was
like one of the Joe Millie in the back of the pickup truck. Yeah.
Quick side tangent. Did you see Farmer Wants a Wife got picked up for season 2?
Unfortunately, I did.
Fuck them. Joe Millionaire for all of the money in the world. You guys are stupid for doing that. Anyways, back to it. Yeah, the whole do you think production told him to put the hand on the window?
No.
It was so corny. I hated it. It made me mad.
I was just like, they gonna bang in this car?
I think they did.
So that was the question. The question America wants to know is, did they bang in that car?
I think they banged in the car. And what are your thoughts?
I want to say yes, but I just feel like that's too small of a car.
I don't think that he cares.
The logistics of it, and also they know there's a camera crew on the outside just watching them. It's different if you're in bed, you could pull the sheet over you, but there's 4 camera guys, a bunch of production people outside, and you're just going to be like, whatever.
But that's why I think they banged there, because obviously they're not going to film it. If it's so clear and out in the open, they're gonna have to leave. You know what I mean? They're not gonna be allowed, and that's why the only shot they had was from the back.
Yeah, I don't see why he would take his shirt off if they weren't gonna bang. Right?
Yeah,
Okay, they banged.
I think they banged. Let us know what you think. Did they bang?
And missed opportunity by production to make everyone carry around a mini temptation light. So even on the dates, they could be during the middle of the day, it goes on. They're like, hold on, it's the middle of the day.
Yeah.
What? You're not going to cheat on me at night after I know you've been drinking? Mm-hmm. It's the middle of the day?
Yeah, I feel like that does hurt more.
Oh! Can you imagine Gone Girl? She had to like carry like a little mini light and it turned on. Oh,
freaked out.
No. Oh, no.
I will say, Michaela and Hallway on their date, they are cute. They are cute.
She said soulmate, Mixie. And she also said, I can't imagine my life without him outside of this.
So just timeline-wise, I do want to note, Alexis said to Whore the night before that they had known each other for a week. So if we're going by that, it's a week and a day that they've known each other.
Okay. Now, we do know from other shows that you get put in these situations, it really like fast forwards everything. And if you're around this person all the time, like you can think that. I also, if you don't have other options available to you, I think you do get hyper focused. And like Michaela's like, I've never really felt like this before. And I'm just like, well, maybe you haven't really given somebody really much of a chance to like talk to you 24 hours straight for what I'm going to guess is 6 days, because it's been 7, but the first day they probably didn't hang out much. 6 days. And she said, I can't imagine my life without him at this point. I want to buy into this. I really want to buy into this. I'm not buying it.
Interesting.
I'm not buying it. There's moments
from her end.
There's moments I think where he came back and said, I don't want to be with her. Like, it took me being around somebody like you to know that. And there's just like, to me, I just noticed like the slightest bit of like uncomfortableness from her being like, I didn't want to ruin an engagement.
Yes.
I think you like me a lot more than I like you. And this is going to be problematic because at the end of this, you're going to want to leave your fiance for me. And I'm going to want to continue going on these trips all around the world because I'm hot.
Yeah. I do think that, and she said that in an ICM too. She was like, I got to keep reminding myself that it's not my fault. And like, I shouldn't feel bad for what I'm doing. I definitely think that she is just like a genuinely good person.
Yeah.
And she's struggling with the ethics of this whole thing, for sure.
I would also like to play it from the side of a guy who's definitely been in a situation where you're being around an incredibly attractive person and you just start like telling yourself things because you're like, well, most people don't, not all hot girls want to hang out with me all the time. So if this one's hanging out, they must like me. I don't think she realizes the effect that she does have on people. Because to her, this is just her living her life.
Yeah.
But as like a guy who's been through that situation, you start like trying to fast forward everything real quick because you're like, oh my God, this is the perfect situation.
Yeah.
And I just don't think she realizes like that effect that she could have on men. And not that that's her fault. I'm just saying I don't think she realizes that like guys probably fall very quickly for her. And she's just being a nice person.
Yeah.
Just being herself, being nice. I don't think
just
she's
happens
faking
to have
it.
ridiculously nice tits and ass.
Yeah, and she doesn't walk around and being a bitch to people, which helps out a lot.
Yeah.
You're just funny, you want to laugh, you want to hang out, you want to dance like that. Yeah, you're having fun and you're just not like, "Oh my God, I'm playing. Oh my God, I can't get my hair wet." Like Vanessa episode 1, right? Ugh. Like she's just like, "Whatever. I'm living life. I'm hot. This is great." There's nothing wrong. So I don't know. I that really makes me nervous that towards the end she's going to be like, I think he's going to think I'm ready to leave and be in a relationship with him, and I don't want that. I feel like it's going to be what happened last year with what was that guy's name and the girl that was with Hanya, or the they them that was with Hanya. I'm sorry, I can't remember.
Taylor.
Yeah, Taylor and
Tarzan,
yes. And whatever that other person's name was.
Yes.
Where they looked like, oh, this is it, and then he's like, listen, this is not happening. She was like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What do you mean? All right, let's move on.
Yeah, I mean, again, fast paced. Rob and that girl that he's with, cute. Moving on, Vanessa and that guy. He is got to be cashing major checks with production for having to sit through this with her. Moving on from that, we had Oates and Michael. It kind of just seems like all of her dates are her just like talking about how much she loves Doorway, and Doorway now no longer wants to be with her, and she can't handle that. I mean, I do like Oates a lot as a person, but I gotta believe that all she talks about is this.
Well, that's what they're clearly showing, and I can understand if like you came here and you thought you were going to be good, and you're like, you wanted to come, it seems like, to figure out what it is, and he's starting to figure it out. Okay, well, you've done what you like, mission accomplished. You should be able to progress, but 8 years.
Yeah.
I get that. You're now like,
I get that too, but if
I
you're
gotta
willing
go day to day without knowing, maybe you're the one sleeping over there.
If you're the person pushing to go on this show and then to not, like, she's talking to these guys, sure, but again, 90% of the conversations we're seeing her talk to them, it's about Doorway. Like, yeah. I'm just like, snooze.
I don't like that part. I do think our girl Oates is smart in the regard of saying, I wanted to come here to do what the show is supposed to be, to see if this is what it is. I just can't
get past it.
Start making out with some guy that I've known for 6 days and give up on everything that was here. Like, that's a bad look on me if I see one clip of him saying something, not doing anything, by the way. And then I just start going, well, I'm just start making out with all these guys.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand how that's like to her respect that she was able to do that, because obviously everybody else is not doing that, right?
That is true. I think that's all of the dates. I do want to touch on our girl Croissant had the quote of the season, I think.
Oh, I got that locked and loaded.
Great.
Croissant earlier in the episode, Mixie, heard about our girl Maricela, shocking all of us in the moment by listening to our good old colleague Justin just popping that shirt off.
Yeah.
You know, she heard about that. She was like, what? She just popped the shirt off after come back from a bonfire with a New Zealand guy who she's known for 4 days, and was just like, whatever, I'm going to pop the shirt off.
Yeah.
And Croissant, being the queen that she is, she's like, well, I have to be able to top that moment. I'm Croissant. You think I'm just going to let someone take the spotlight in the women's villa? No.
Yeah, because she was in the outfit after the bonfire, but they showed it later.
Yes. So she was like, I can't disappoint the right reality. The number one. What can I say that will definitely put me over the top, especially with our girl Mixie? And she went with this.
Seeing him eating somebody's ass last night really pissed me off.
I told you that he ate ass. I told you. You're like, he didn't eat ass. I'm like, he fucking ate ass.
Seeing your boyfriend of 2 years, alleged boyfriend of 2 years, eat ass on national television really pisses you off? I would hope so. I would hope so. You know what would piss me off if I was the guy who led me to the eating of ass? If I heard my alleged girlfriend of 2 years, like the first night, saying if there was no cameras, I would have sucked his dick.
Yeah.
Within 2 days of being here, which brings me to my bigger point. What is going on in these relationships, Nixie? Is it weird to you, or am I just the outsider here, to see these people who are in a full-ass relationship 7 days ago, living with each other, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
Within a week, bang other people, make out, and eventually shower with someone else within a week. Like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, I do feel like casting really did a number on us this season. I know that you've stated off record that you have a feeling a couple or two may not have even actually been a couple and might have been just put together.
I have no definitive proof, but there's just something about Great and Croissant that if I'm a rational person who, this is what I'm saying, was told these two were in a relationship for 2 years, and within a day, this woman said, all love in the world to Croissant, by the way.
Yeah,
I would have sucked this guy's dick if there was no cameras here. Makes me think you were not in a relationship with somebody for 2 years.
Well, that and also the fact that they said that he cheated multiple times before they even got there. Like, why is she surprised that he's eating ass?
It makes me think that they were like, not in a relationship, but they were like, you know, loose, open, like they were fuck buddies or something like that.
I could see that they dated in the past, or maybe they like applied when they were dating and then they broke up and production was like, just say that you're still together.
Yeah.
So I do think that they had a relationship, but I agree with you. It doesn't make any sense that they're
that quickly.
So quick to, I mean, Rob's the same way though. Like he's like day 2 is like, fuck this girl, I'm out. Now that is a bit of a different situation because of who he's dealing with, but they honestly, all of them are jumping out.
So quickly. I think the difference between the Hall and Oates relationship is none of them have really crossed a line to where you would go, okay, they're still being respectful to each other. And especially Oates is like, all she's wanted to talk about is how she feels about this, which is, again, the real idea of the show. But everybody else is like, you know, they see one thing and they were like, I'm out. I'm completely out.
Respectable Horde literally did that hand gesture.
Yeah. It's just, I don't get it. I don't know how, again, credit to casting, right? As you said.
Yeah, they killed it this season. They really did. There is something that we must discuss, and you did graze over it.
Okay.
I don't know. Now, we discussed this before we came on the podcast, and I'm just going to put it out there. I don't know if what you guys are going to see on television is what we saw in this shower scene. But I don't think I've ever seen that much skin be shown without a blur on television in my life. Like, I straight up saw everything of Maricela's from the back. I straight up saw everything from Christian pretty much from the front and back. He covered the front and then turned around. That's his name, right? Christian?
Yeah, sure.
He looks like a Christian. I just, my mind was blown. My jaw was on the ground, but I was able to write down that Maricela straight up ass shot that was basically porn. How could they possibly have showed that to us? Was this week's
I'm sorry, Michaela!
Ass of the week. Ass of the week.
I would like to state for the record, Michaela had it until they showed us this. Michaela had it at the beach. I had it down for her. She had it, but there was no. I've never seen that much butt on TV in my life. There wasn't a bar. There wasn't a blur. And it was twice. They showed her getting into the shower and they showed her in the bedroom.
Well, they showed her like getting ready, like massaging his entire back, and like getting into the shower. And you're right. I thought Michaela had it tied up.
She tied up that bikini straight up her ass cheeks, and she had it ready, but I have to give straight cheeks. Nothing blocking my view. I can't pass that up.
You can't. And it's just, again, snatched out of the hands of Michaela. For the first time ever in Michaela's life, she hasn't gotten something that she was probably qualified to get.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. And I just wonder if this trend is just going to continue.
I don't want it to. I want to give it to her. She deserves it. She's putting in the hours. It's just every time somebody's a little bit, they put in that extra effort, just a little bit more for me. Every time.
She's like somebody who gets to the finals of since Wimbledon happened today. Wimbledon, you just get to the final like a couple of years in a row. You keep making Grand Slam finals. You can't get over the hurdle, but you're there. You're like right there. Somebody just played much better than you that day. She couldn't expect that Maricela was just going to go full nude.
Yeah.
In the shower with a guy again 6 days after knowing someone. Like, run that through your head. Anybody in a relationship of a year and a half right now, just play it in your head. Even if you weren't happy in your relationship, are you getting in the shower with someone 6 days later?
Insane.
Without breaking up. Without officially breaking up. It's insane. And you know what? I fucking love it. And that's why this show is great.
I couldn't agree more. They showed clips at the end of the episode that were like very quick flashes of people, pretty much lots of couples fucking. I rewound and paused. Who was that last couple? I think it was Respectable Whore.
It's Respectable Whore, 1,000%. I had to go back too because I thought the second one was Maricela, and it's not.
Oh, it's not?
It was Rob Roberto, and then Great and Trace 2.0, and then Respectable Whore. Like,
so it was all the guys. Again,
3 out of the 4 guys
panicking. Okay.
Doorway is the only one who is not given into temptation at this point. Because I think Respectable Whore saw what he needed to see in the last one. Mm-hmm. It's like what happened last year with... I'm blanking. What's our boy's name? Edgar. Yeah. He was like, I finally have seen enough. I've cracked too many times.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to go bang. And make sure you turn the volume up on her microphone.
But I will say that Respectable Whore, the way that they were fucking was like... how you fuck late at night when you're exhausted. Again, I wouldn't know. But like when you're exhausted and you just need to like get it over with before you go to bed. Like you're both just like, all right, we're horny. We want to do this and then fall asleep. Like you have no energy.
Such a weird way for your first time with a partner too. Yeah. Like
spooning like this, I guess is the better.
There you go.
Hand gesture.
It was just so awkward. And it was also like, oh, can they show that motion on television?
Uh-huh. I mean, we're showing strip double cheeked up on a Tuesday with no thought in the world to blur.
Just an odd move of a first bang. We're just going to go the spoon bang.
And also odd that they showed it to us like that. Like last second, just a small, like 1.5 second clip. And then it's the logo.
But that's what this show does. This show knows how to end an episode.
They do.
This show knows how to end an episode, and you want to see more. Mm-hmm. They do it like no other show on television, where they just... Because it was feeling kind of dull there at the end. It was just like, oh, the episode's slowing down. I literally looked, and I go, okay, this show always ends on a high note. I got a minute left on this screener. Mm-hmm. How are they going to do this? Oh, they're going to turn it into Bang City.
It's a banging compilation.
Yeah, just like Rob Roberto, light on. Great, light on. Respectable Whore, light on.
Yep.
Man, they make this perfectly well done.
They really do.
The last thing I want to mention, because I think it was just a really funny moment of the episode where everything else was just like crazy. So they do the whole question time thing where we're going to put a bunch of questions in a bowl and we're going to pull them out.
Oh, yes, the questions. Yeah, I forgot about these.
I love this because Doorway is like, I'll go first. And he pulls one out. And his question was, who is the best twerker? Mm-hmm. And I don't know if you saw this, Mixie. And I'm sure you did because, again, we're the number one.
Yeah.
Tammy in the background puts her like hands under her chin like, me. And then Doorway goes, oh, it's definitely Michaela.
Yeah.
And then she's like, I was just scratching my chin. I was just scratching my chin.
Yep.
No, it was definitely not me. Because she was like, oh, it's going to be me. Everybody's seen me. And he's like, oh, Michaela. And then Great's like, yeah, do it. Yeah, do it. Prove it. Prove it right now.
And then Doorway's like, lock it up. Lock it up.
Yeah, bring it back. Don't give it away for free. Don't give it away for free, sweetie. Cover up the feet. We're not giving that away for free right here. That's
so funny. I will say, and this is just the diabolical me in this situation, if I was sitting in that circle, big fuck up giving everybody different colored pens. I would have clocked everybody's pen color and figured out who wrote down what question. I would have clocked all that shit. My brain would have only been focusing on that.
I'm sure you're not the only person who thought of that.
Yeah, I'm sure that a couple of those girls in that circle were sitting there like, why'd you write that one?
Because you said it, not me. There was no men who would have ever thought about that.
Yep.
No guy would have ever been like, oh, she's got a green pen, she's got a red pen, and she's got an orange. Okay, I know this fucking bitch over there is going to ask a bonkers question.
Well, they also, like, they weren't, like, putting the bowl up here and having people pick. Like, they were picking straight from the bowl. So I would have been like, okay, I know this girl has 2 brain cells. There's no way she asked a deep question. I'm going for the red pen, you know?
I'm going for the crazy one over there who probably asked something like, who's got the biggest penis?
And then not saying the guy you're sleeping with? What a diabolical move.
But who is this we're talking about?
Yeah,
Who's this we're talking about?
Yep.
We're not dealing with a normal operator.
Being insane.
We're dealing with Trace 2.0. Oh, probably Chris. And Chris is like, whatever.
Yeah.
Can we get out of here? I want to go bang.
Just like Temptation Island, I would like us to end on a high note, and we need to discuss our picks for who is making it. Okay. I will go first if you need to think.
So are we should we go through the couples like one by one?
Let's do that.
Let's
do that.
Okay.
Let's do that.
All right. Are you going to write these down for the record officially?
I will. I'll put these in my notes right now. Okay, so first on the list, we will go with an easy one. Rob and Gone Girl.
You say it's an easy one.
All right, well, I'll go first. Mixie, no chance.
I want to say no chance, but they're giving the glimmers of
Steven,
the glimmers.
There is no way that line wasn't.
Are you
fed
telling
to
me
him.
this is just an editing ploy here?
I've not seen him say that at all in any way, shape, or form to Desiree. Is that her name? I don't know.
Okay, I will also say no.
No. Okay. But there is a chance, but you're going no.
I'm gonna go no. I want to be contrarian and win this game and have more points than you, so I was kind of leaning on that, but I am gonna officially say no.
Okay. Then let's go to Respectable Whore and Maricela.
No.
Okay, I agree, but I want to discuss this a little bit because he seems to think that she's going to run back to him. I think it's the other way around. I think he's going to want her back and she says no. Because I think it's a no as well.
I don't know. I feel like, that's a really good point. I don't know, Mixie. Like, to me, mentally that makes sense where he would want to go back because of all that. But when the way he said that stuff, I think that really cut him deep.
I think he's hiding that he's hurt and wants to be with her by like being this aggressive about it.
I don't know. I'm still going no, but I like where you're going. So you think you're going no, but you think like at the reunion they might have got back together?
No, I think it's a no, and then I think Chris is going to want to get back with Maricela, and she's going to say no.
She's going to say no.
Yes.
Okay.
I think. Well, let's just do this. For Rob and Gone Girl, no. Rob is going to say no. I think she's going to want to go back with him, and he's going to say no.
Okay.
I'm getting deep with it now.
I got you.
So you agreed no.
We're saying no.
Okay. Then we have Great and Croissant.
That's a no.
Yeah, there's no chance. They weren't together in the first place, so that makes it a little bit more difficult.
Hall and Oates to finish it out.
We have Hall and Oates.
Now, here's where it gets crazy. Last week, I was like, I don't see it. This week, I was definitely, I don't see it. I think what might happen is what I predicted.
Michaela's
and we have a situation where Michaela goes, she asked this week, you want kids? What's my timeline? And he's like, whenever you want, because I want to be with you. I think she's going to cut him off. I think he's going to feel like he needed what he needed. And he's going to want to go back, and she's going to see what he said, but I think she's going to take him back at the end, and I say they leave with each other. I think that's going to be the big surprise, because I'm looking back at the history real quick since they've been on. I think there was one season, the very first one that they came back, where all the couples split. Every other season, at least one couple is left together.
Interesting.
I don't know. I don't think they can have everybody leave. That's what I'm going with.
Okay.
I'm keeping hope alive for our team of Hall & Oates.
I like it. I'm saying no. She's going to want to stay with him, and he's going to say no. I think if they do what they did last season where they like send a message.
Oh, God.
I think she's going to send a message. It's going to snap him out of it. And he's going to want her back and be like, I had fun, but if we're being realistic.
Yes. Yeah.
And then I don't know. I think it's a no, but I think they'll be back together by the reunion.
I like that because he has said she's like the best person I've ever known. All this type of stuff. She's going to see him saying that next week. I think she might stray the week after that with one of the two guys that she's interested in. He is going to see it. Yeah. And it's going to cut him so deep that he was like, I was ready to have babies with her. I wanted my whole life. She said it this week. Our lives are together. Like, and especially like where they're from. It's just, that's so messy to go back to in that part of the country. And I think they'll just try to make it work, and maybe they give it a go just for TV's sake, and then they end up breaking up at the reunion. They're like, oh, we tried and it just didn't work. But I say they leave together.
So you think they leave together? I'm saying they do not leave together, but they are together by the reunion.
So that, okay. Okay. I like that play.
I think that they're going to leave separately. They're going to go get back home, realize that like what the real world is. And he's going to have some off-camera discussions with Michaela, realize that's not realistic.
Yeah.
And come crawling back, and she'll take him back again.
I just want one of the guys to be like, yo, okay, man, guy.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not happening for you. I'm sorry, buddy. We all want it to be that for you.
It's not it, though.
But it's not it.
It's not it. Well, that's it. That's the episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to us and everything. I think, Steven, you had something that you wanted to touch on?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I didn't yell enough in this episode for somebody who left a review. Hopefully I toned that down for your dumb earlobes. Nick Me Now with emojis in your name on Apple Podcast. It's a 2-star. Because I guess we've done something fucking right here. It was titled "The Yelling Is Too Much." Hold on, let me say it in a way that better articulates. The yelling is too much. The last Temptation Island episode was too much. Bad mouthing another pod for a different opinion. BTW episode 3 was a snooze. Is tacky. The screaming's too much. Hold on. The screaming's too much. It's not very funny. It's grit my teeth and roll my eyes. I really wanted to listen to the whole season of Temptation Island, but episode 4 will be my last. Bye. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much for your engagement, and we would encourage others to engage on all platforms, specifically Apple Podcasts, because this great review has now brought us below 4.5 again. So if you could maybe just head on over to Apple Podcasts, give us a little nice review. All engagement's good engagement, and I will accept it all. Comment as well. Let us know what you think about the episode, what you think about the couples, and if they'll make it or not. Steven, are you okay?
This is what's wrong with this country. One 2-star review because I yelled because people were like, I don't like the idea of these people hooking up on the island, even though that's the whole idea of the show. I go on a rant about that, a perfectly reasonable rant. And you take us out of the 4.5? Karen?
I think his name is Nick, but yes.
Ken?
Hi, Barbie.
Well, let me get to my computer. Whoa. Oh, my God. Yeah, type. Mad. I'm mad. Let me get this out. By the way, I don't think you guys know. I can see other reviews you've left on other podcasts. I'm glad you love to give other podcasts love. Oh, that's actually incorrect. Because the other reviews you left were also shitty reviews. So congratulations, Yelper. Congratulations for just shitting on everything. I hope your life is outstanding. That's what you get. You want to leave a bad review, we're going to fire back. You leave a great review, well, we obviously love you.
Yeah, and we appreciate it. And we'll read the good reviews that we get next week. We'll make sure to give some love to you guys for leaving us a review. So head on over to Apple Podcasts and help us out with that. We'd appreciate that greatly.
Okay, bye everybody. Have a good week. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Okay, bye.